everyone, and welcome to Club 2, episode 27 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we haven't played any games since the last time you and I were together for an episode. You can see that the last fixture was the New Saints game where we won 2-1, which was a brilliant result. It currently sits us in third place, but we are quite a distance off the top two. So the second part of this season now begins with the top six playing each other, and we've got to reel them in if we possibly can, whilst keeping an eye over our shoulder all the time, because the minimum I expected from this season was to hold this third place position and get into a European qualifying spot of some sort. So that's where we're heading. There's not a great deal to tell you about. Finances are good. In terms of the playing staff, everybody's fit and healthy. You can see that whilst some of the match sharpness might not be the best, they've all had a relative amount of games. So, it's not too bad. I've added in a couple of different tactical styles of play, all based around this particular shape. But you can see we've got a more defensive, solid version of it, and then a more attacking version of it as well, with different styles of play in there. That's because recently I've been done over here and there where I've tried to go defensive and they haven't been able to do it. So I'm trying to train up a couple of different tactics. So when I do want to go defensive or attacking, depending on what the game scenario is, then that hopefully might work a little bit better. But we'll have to check that out as we go. But that's something that I've done recently. The other thing that we'll do today, just because I like to show you a few bits of our side and who's in them and what we've got working for us, is I'm going to show you my two wide men, Rowlands and Sarmento, and just give you a little bit as to why they're doing well or not for me. So in first looking at these two players, obviously Sarmento plays on the wide right, Rowlands on the wide left. These are our two attacking midfield options. They've both played the same amount of games. You can see that Rowlands has got a decent amount of goals and assists, and pretty much so has Sarmento too. They're both contributing nicely, both pretty much on an average rating of 6.8 something. It's, very close. You can see that Rowlands is the more rounded player. If we look at attributes, the one thing I'd like more from both of them would be a crossing ability, but Sarmento on his dribbling is exceptionally good. You can see that in terms of their physicals, they're both fairly good, I would suggest. A little bit more pace would be great, but where Rowlands beats out Sarmento and therefore contributes to our side is more on the mental side of things as well. Good determination, leadership, off the ball, teamwork, they're all really high for him, which is a real positive. So you can see that at this level of football, there's going to be huge gaps all over the place. Of course there is, but both of these guys have something that they contribute to the side and have been doing so quite regularly this season. Don't get me wrong, I'd love a 7.4 average rating from all of my players, but that's just not possible at the moment for one reason or another. It's not really happening. But you can see that they are contributing, which is a real positive. The team for today's game, the game in the Cup against the New Saints, is Fuller in goal, Nichols at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Hazel, Rogers and Smith in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left and Basumbro up top, and a slightly smaller bench because of the competition of Hope, Harden, Evans, Fenlon, that's Jake Fenlon, our right-sided option, and Rickards. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've just told them basically that we've been on a good run, so go out there and impress me again. Keep up the momentum. We are at home, which is a real positive against the New Saints. Always going to be a tricky opposition, and especially because we beat them in the last game. It's going to be really hard, I think, for us to get through this tie, but we're going to give it a really good go. And that was a really good interception there by George. And he sends it forward, and eventually Rowlands too acute an angle on that left-hand side. I would have much preferred that he cut the ball across into the box, but you and I both know the issues that we've had with that sort of part of the play this year in FM20. But yeah, disappointing. Does this face look impressed? One highlight, and it was the Rowlands shot into the side netting. That was it. The entirety of the first half. We've had 3 shots at goal. They've had 1. None of them were deemed worthy of a highlight other than the Rowlands attempt. And it's been absolutely dull. So I've told them if we can get the first goal, it makes us favourite, go back out there again. And I've just tried to sort of encourage them to produce something. because it was so dreadful in that first half. You can see nobody's playing well at all. Nobody's got this game by the scruff of the neck. So we're going to demand more from them. And we're going to stop the game there, and we're going to change and go on to our attacking option. And then we're going to make a couple of substitutions as well, because I'm so bored of this game not having any interesting things to talk about. So our right side changes. Harden and Fenland come on there. And then look at this. Rowland's on a 6.3. That's terrible. I'm going to put Rickards out there, and we're going to use him as an attacking forward, an inside forward, and see if he can cut in with his clinical finishing and see if he can get something. It's a bit out there, but occasionally you've got to try something different, haven't you, when it's just not working. 15 minutes left of the match, and it's just dreadful. There's nothing to talk about. How do you make an episode of a series on a game where literally nothing happens? We're going to go into extra time. Maybe it'll all happen there. But this is so terrible. Oh dear. Aggressively. I'm far from pleased. Get out there. Do something. Entertain me. Perform, damn it. Oh. We'll see whether extra time. We're going all the way to penalties, aren't we? That'll be interesting. See whether we can get through on penalties against the New Saints. I mean, to be fair, we're holding them to a draw, one of the better sides in the division. Absolutely, I understand that, but oh, it's so dull. So, what would you like to talk about? As nothing's happening in the game, we can talk about the weather. It's been terrible in the UK. Hope it's nicer wherever you might be around the world. Oh, this is what we call in Football Manager a highlight. Unfortunately, 117 minutes out of the 120 is for the New Saints, but we just about get that cleared. Good defensive work there and a good clearance, and it goes all the way through to penalties. So we'll auto pick our penalty takers, and we'll see how we get on with these. This has been so dreadful. And it's the New Saints to kick us off in the penalty shootout. So Fuller, chance to save, and goes the right way but doesn't quite manage it, and they go one up. And surely Busumbru puts it away. He's got the calm, composed nature of a finisher to do it. And he does. Very nicely done. And the goalkeeper went the same way as the ball, but didn't quite manage to get there. Another chance for the New Saints to put them up again. And, well, there you go. Fuller denies him. It almost looked as though it went in. The net rippled for no apparent reason, seemingly then, because Fuller got his hands on it. And that's a nicely converted kick by Rickards, the substitute who came on. Very, very nice. And that's the joy of having two strikers on the pitch for a penalty shootout, I guess. O'Connor for the New Saints. And again it's Fuller. And again that net ripples when nothing touched it. But there we go. Just to confuse us even more. We're going to go through. I think we're going to go through. Smith. And he converts the penalty. Nicely done. Very, very nicely done. And I'm kind of surprised, really, after a completely drab game that's been so dreadful to watch. We're going to go through in the Cup against the New Saints and take a victory away from them 2 games in a row, which is incredibly impressive against such a good side that are obviously a real highlight of this division. Baker with a good converted penalty there. Fuller goes completely the wrong way. And we are closing in on a decent win. So who's going to step up for the next one for us? It's going to be Bentker. A central defender taking a key penalty. Is this a good move? Is he going to become a hero, or is he going to become the villain? And he steps up on the right foot, Bentker, and he puts it away nicely, and we go through in the competition. And the New Saints go out. What an incredible turnaround for a game that was. It was so terrible for so long. And then all of a sudden, the highlight of the match is a penalty shootout in which we go through. So what do you say now? It was such a dreadful performance. I'm still going to calmly say, well done, that was a good win for us, because it really was against a very hard opposition. But boy, was that a really bad game to watch. I hope you loved this particular episode. I'm sure it's been fascinating for you. I don't know how I'm going to edit this one together. It's giving me a headache already thinking about it. But yeah, We celebrate going through, which is great. Get a bit of money, that's always good. And then we can focus again for a little while on the league. And who have we got in the next round? Ammanford. They're in the JD Cymru South, which is, way below us. So that's another great opportunity to go through in the next round of the Cup. We could potentially get all the way in this Cup competition. Anyway, that'll do it for today. It was the most bizarre game I think I've seen in many, many months on Football Manager. I hope you enjoyed the episode, whatever it turns out to be, because I haven't edited it yet, and it might be dreadful. But thanks very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying the series, why not subscribe to the channel? Keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, then why not click a like on it for me? Help me get seen by other people. But until next time, for hopefully a much, much better game, take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon, and bye for now.